My name is Akemi. I graduated from undergrad last year and have been working ever since. Today, I want to talk about something that happened to me.
You're still not finished with these documents?
I'm sorry, Mr. Onota. I'm almost done with them.
This is what I'm talking about when I say young women are useless in the workforce.
Mr. Onota would always berate me while I was working. He always found some excuse to take his anger out on me. I guess I'm still young and inexperienced, so there's nothing I can really do about it. Huh? That's weird. Out of nowhere, my mom texted me during work, which was unusual. Hey, Mom, what's up? I'm at work right now. Sorry to bother you at work. Dad had to go to the hospital last night and he passed away. What? Dad's gone? I know it's a lot to ask, but do you think you can come home? Of course, I'll talk to my boss. Shocked at the news of my dad's sudden death, I talked to Mr. Onota about it. Excuse me, Mr. Onota. I just found out that my father passed away. Could I take some time off?
You're kidding me, right? You think you could do that? Do you know how much work you still have left? Think about who you're talking to before you open your mouth.
But my dad...
Your dad died, and what? You think you can just bail on the company?
I'm sorry. I froze in the moment and quietly went back to my desk. Dad, whenever I tried to focus on doing work, my mind kept going back to thoughts of my dad. I couldn't stop myself from crying.
Hey, what's wrong?
Mr. Nakamura, the company president, came to talk to me. My father passed away, but I was told I couldn't take any PTO because I'm behind on my work.
Your father died? Don't worry about work. That's not what's important right now. Go be with your family.
But...
Don't worry about your work. We'll figure it out on our end. Go home and be with your family.
Thank you. Thanks to Mr. Nakamura, I was able to take some days off and go back home. Dad, I'm so sorry I was late. Doesn't he have the most peaceful expression? The day before he died, we were talking about how much of an adult you've grown up to become. Satoshi. I held my mom as she broke down and started sobbing. My mom loved my dad with all of her heart, and she was struggling to accept his death. Good morning, Mom. Oh, good morning. The next morning, my mom seemed to have lost her vitality and was just an empty shell of herself. So I wanted to talk about the dad's funeral arrangements. What? Did Dad die? Whenever I tried to talk about the funeral plans, she would say something like that and start crying. I had no choice but to take on the responsibility of organizing the wake. Satoshi. My mom cried before, during, and after the wake, and was basically unable to have a conversation with any of our relatives. I couldn't just leave my mom in that condition, so I decided to message my boss and ask for a few more days off. Thank you for understanding, and for giving me time off on a short notice to tend to my family.
Of course. I'm glad you were able to see your father one last time.
I know I may be asking for a lot, but since my father's death, my mom hasn't been doing well. Is it possible to take a few more days off so I can take care of her?
I see. Your loss has been tough on your mother. Don't worry about work. You should be with your mother.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nakamura. Mr. Nakamura granted me the extra time off, allowing me to focus on the funeral arrangements and being with my family. The funeral went smoothly, but my mom was still stuck in a daze. He's really gone, isn't he? Mom. Even after everything was over with, I felt like I couldn't leave my mom by herself. Hello, Mr. Nakamura? My mom still isn't doing well. We went to see a psychosomatic doctor today, and he said that she hasn't recovered from the shock of my dad's death.
I'm sorry to hear that she's not doing well. It sounds like you need to take care of her. From our side, we can give you extended leave. What do you think?
I apologize for the inconvenience, but I would like to take more time off to continue to care for my mom.
No problem. Whenever you're ready to come back, we'll be here for you. Focus on being with your mom right now.
Mr. Nakamura's messages almost made me cry. I took him up on his kind offer and took some time off from work. Mom, dinner's ready! I'm sorry, I'm not really hungry. My mom grew weaker and weaker. Whenever I tried to talk to her, she would just look at me blankly. What's the point of living anymore? I wonder if I can be with your dad again soon. Whenever she did talk, she would say depressing things like that. As if things couldn't get worse, Mr. Onota started sending me angry messages.
Akemi, how much longer do you intend to take off?
Hello, Mr. Onota. I apologize for the inconvenience, but Mr. Nakamura granted me extended leave. He may be able to answer any questions you have.
Don't mess around with me! I'm drowning in work because of you! Come to work right now!
I can't do that.
Mr. Nakamura is under a lot of stress because of you! At any rate, you better come in ASAP!
I was stunned by Mr. Onota's messages. I couldn't just leave my mom on her own. I quickly called my aunt and asked her to look after my mom. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. Go do what you have to do. On my way to work, I messaged Mr. Onota. Hello, what exactly did you mean earlier when you said the company is struggling because of me?
Because of you, there's a mountain of work backed up. And because of that, I've had to sleep at the office to get through it!
But I don't do anything that stressful.
Mr. Nakamura has been making me do your work too! Because of that, I haven't even been able to go home!
Really? I'm so sorry. When Mr. Nakamura really gave him that much work, even though I had my doubts, I went into the office.
Ah! This desk is such a mess!
Mr. Onota, what are you doing? When I got there, Mr. Onota looked busy cleaning up my desk.
I'm cleaning your desk off! I have no use for a good-for-nothing employee like you!
What? If it's about the work, I'll get it done. Don't clear my desk off.
Quiet! These are the boss's orders! You serve no purpose here! You're fired! This will be a voluntary resignation. So you'll send me your resignation letter later.
Oh my god. I couldn't believe that the same Mr. Nakamura who was so warm and understanding towards me would fire me. But Mr. Onota didn't stop cleaning my desk off.
This is your desk! Hurry up and start packing up!
Yes, sir. I responded to Mr. Onota like he was an army sergeant and started packing up my desk like I was told to do. I couldn't stop crying as I cleaned up my desk. Having lost my job while looking after my mom, I wondered how I'd make a living. What do I do after this? I have nowhere else to go.
You're still young. Why don't you become an escort or something? Well, I guess there aren't any places that would hire someone with as little common sense as you.
Mr. Onota just pointed at me and laughed as I packed my things up. Why do you hate me? All you do is try to make my life difficult.
You're a new graduate who can't work well and became cocky because Mr. Nakamura took a liking to you. Flirting with the company president to get close to him. It's gross!
I've never flirted with Mr. Nakamura. At this point, I was past the point of anger. Accusing me of flirting with Mr. Nakamura, who was even older than my parents, was rude both to him and me. I will apologize about the work, but you need to stop slandering Mr. Nakamura.
Ha! What does Mr. Nakamura even see in you? Because of you, the workload is doubled!
According to you, he's nice to me because I flirt with him, but I don't flirt with him.
Then why is he so nice to you?
I don't know. Go ask him yourself. I ignored Mr. Onota and continued packing my desk.
You useless waste of space! Hurry up and get out of here!
He kept yelling about something, but I ignored him and finished up. After that, I headed to Mr. Nakamura's office as I fought back my tears. I wanted to apologize for causing trouble at work and thank him for granting me the PTO.
Okemi, what are you doing here?
I just wanted to say sorry and thank you one last time. I deeply apologize for the trouble I've caused.
Trouble? What are you talking about? But more importantly, why are you here when you're on leave?
Well, Mr. Onota called me in. He said that because of me, everything's a mess.
Sure, things have been a bit stressful since you've been gone, but do you really think we would give you work where the fate of the company's in your hands?
So, what's going on? Does that mean I'm not fired?
Who said that? I never said anything like that!
Hearing what I said, Mr. Nakamura looked angry. I got flustered and kept talking. Mr. Onota told me that I caused trouble to the company, so I was fired.
I never said anything like that! Someone, go grab Onata and bring him here! I've been informed that you told Okemi that she's fired!
That Mr. Onota was called up to Mr. Nakamura's office.
What's going on?
Wow!
Okemi, you're all set here. Go back to your mother and be with her.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to Mr. Nakamura again, I was able to go back home. When I got there, I told my aunt about what happened. Sounds like a complicated situation to be in. Maybe you should talk with your boss so he can explain things. I took my aunt's advice and messaged Mr. Nakamura. Thank you for your time today, Mr. Nakamura.
No, thank you. I'm sorry for the trouble that Mr. Onata has caused you.
I was wondering, am I fired?
Absolutely not! That was a decision made by Mr. Onata. He admitted to saying that because he wanted to drive you out of the company.
Oh, wow, that explains a lot.
He told me everything. He lied to you to trick you into resigning. I am truly, truly sorry for what you had to go through.
Does that mean I can stay at the company?
Of course you can! Among the employees, you're one of the brighter ones. It would be our loss to let you go.
What about all the work that's backed up because of me?
I had given Mr. Onata clear instructions on allotting the work, but he ignored what I told him to do. This has all been one big headache.
So the backed up work isn't because of me?
No, it's not. Anyways, focus on being with your family now. I'm looking forward to having you back when you are ready.
I felt like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders after talking with Mr. Nakamura. This whole situation happened because Mr. Onota didn't like me and wanted to make me quit. A few days later, my mom seemed to be doing better, and I was able to go back to work. Hi everyone, I'm back! I'm sorry for my long absence. Wait, Mr. Onota?
Quit staring at me!
When I got to the office, I was surprised to see Mr. Onota packing away his desk.
Because of you, I've been demoted! Shit! Just when I finally started getting ahead in life, I get sent back to where I came from!
The other employees around just watched him coldly as he cried to himself as I was trying to figure out what happened. Then I was called to Mr. Nakamura's office.
Hi, Okemi. I just wanted to take a moment to apologize for everything you went through.
No, actually, I'm okay, thanks to you. I hope you'll allow me to continue working here. I will give it my all.
Of course! I hope to have you here for a long time.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about my mother.
Okay. What do you think about remote work? That way, you could still work while being with your mother. It's also in our best interest, too. It's better than losing a valuable employee like you.
Is that really okay?
Yes. And even though we have taken disciplinary action against Mr. Onota, he still might try to do something to you. Taking all that into consideration, I think it's the best option.
That would be great. Thank you so much. Thanks to the kindness of Mr. Nakamura, I started working from home. All of this because of me. I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm here because I want to be here with you. I moved back in with my mom and continued working remotely. Before I moved, I received this message from Mr. Onota.
Hi, Akemi. Can I ask you a favor?
Hello, Mr. Onota? What is it?
Could you talk to Mr. Nakamura about taking me off the layoff list?
I'm sorry, but please talk to him directly about that.
What the hell? Whose fault do you think this all is in the first place?
I think that these are the consequences to your actions. It seems that you are no longer associated with the company, so I'm going to block you.
Wait! Akemi!
Goodbye, Mr. Onota. And with that, I hit the block button. I've heard through the grapevine that he's been just barely getting by stringing together daily jobs.
Glad to have you here, Akemi.
Glad to be here. Even though I've been working remotely, I've been on top of it. And I tend to continue working hard going forward.